Did you know that you can use other people's money to help you pay for the down payment and closing costs when buying a home? That is called gift funds. It is gift funds or a gift of equity. Say, for instance, you're buying a home from your parents and they owe less than what the house is worth. So they help give you the equity to help you buy the home. That's what we're going to talk about today. So this series is about gift funds and gift of equity guidelines if you're using a Freddie Mac conventional loan. Now, I did another video for a Fannie Mae conventional loan, and I'm also doing a video for FHA, VA, and USDA. So each one of these has different guidelines for using gift funds. So if you're using a conventional loan and there's a guideline, maybe you're using a Fannie Mae guideline and you can't qualify, then potentially you could switch to a Freddie Mac conventional if the guidelines are better. So let's talk about how to use gift funds for down payment and closing costs if you're using a Freddie Mac conventional loan. So what are gift funds? So gift funds are non-borrower funds that can be given to the buyer, that can be used for down payment or closing costs. Who can give you gift funds? So a relative can give you gift funds, and a relative is defined as a spouse, a child, or a dependent related by blood, marriage, adoption, or legal guardianship, or family-like ties. A non-relative can give you a gift if they share a familial relationship, like a domestic partner, relative of a domestic partner, a former relative, a fiance, a godparent, or Freddie Mac allows you to use gift funds from a wedding or graduation gifts. And this is different from Fannie Mae. So we're going to go through what that looks like. But this is one of the ways that Freddie Mac is unique compared to Fannie Mae. So for instance, if you're getting married and in your wedding registry, instead of saying, give me gifts, you're saying, donate money to this fund. I'm going to use it as the down payment for my house. If you're using a Fannie Mae conventional loan, that's not going to be allowed. There's certain rules or guidelines that you're going to have to show to document that money. But with Freddie Mac, that's allowed. So interested party gifts. Interested party gifts are allowed up to the interested party limits based on the loan to value of your purchase. So with Fannie Mae, you are not allowed to get gift funds from an interested party. And an interested party is usually like the developer or the builder or the home seller or the real estate agent or anybody that's going to benefit from the sale of this transaction or the sale of this house. This is different. Fannie Mae does not allow interested party gifts, but Freddie Mac does under certain circumstances. The other thing I want you to understand about this is these guidelines are not black and white. When it comes to proving who's a relative and what your connection is and what's an interested party and what's not an interested party, sometimes there's some explaining to do. Sometimes there's some documentation that you have. But the important thing is I want to kind of lay all of this out for you so that you know there's a difference between Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. If you're watching this and you're not meeting one of these guidelines for some reason, but you want a conventional loan, I want you to know that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are different. So you can look at the Fannie Mae video and potentially see if there's a way. So there's no borrower contribution. This is the same as Fannie Mae. There's no borrower contribution if you have more than a 20% down payment. or if you have less than if it's a 1 to 4 unit property, owner occupied under 80% loan to value, or if it's so if you have a 20% down payment, or if you have less than a 20% down payment on a single family, one family household, there's no borrower contribution. There is a borrower contribution if you're buying a 2 to 4 unit property that has greater than 80% loan to value. So you put less than 20% down on a 2 to 4 unit property. You have to have 5% of your own funds in order to use gift funds. But if you're using the Home Possible, which is Freddie Mac's affordable homeownership program, it's only a 3% contribution if you have less than a 20% down on 2 to 4 units. If it's single family, single unit property, just one family house, no borrower contributions. You don't even have to worry about it. Gift funds are allowed. This is similar to Fannie Mae. Yes, you can use it on a primary house. Yes, you can use gift funds on a second home. You cannot use gift funds on an investment property. The documentation needed is very similar to Fannie Mae. So all gift letters, whether it's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, or USDA, they're all going to require the same thing on the gift letter. The gift letter is literally a letter that has this information on it. The donors, the person giving you the gift, their name, their address, their telephone number, what their relationship is to you, what the dollar amount is of the gift, and a statement that no expectation, or there is no expectation for repayment. This is the no repayment statement. It just says, I understand this is a gift. I'm not expecting them to pay this back. The evidence, the documentation that you need in order to show the receipt of the gift is you just need to show receipt of the transfer from the donor's account to your account. So that's either deposit slips or copies of the check, or electronic transfers. Now, if it's if they're gifts from a wedding, you need to show the marriage license, and you need to deposit that money into your account within 60 days of the wedding. So you need to show your marriage certificate that's less than 60 days old, and then you need to show that money going into your account from the gift account within 60 days. If you graduated college or high school or wherever you're graduating, you need evidence of the graduation, and the money has to all be deposited into your account. Now, when I say deposited into your account, this is the account that you're going to use when you're qualifying for the mortgage. So that's going to be like your main checking account, where the deposits are, where your down payment and your closing costs are coming from, your primary checking account. That's the account that the money needs to go into. If you have a separate account that you just set up for that, that's fine too, but you're going to have to document the fact that that account was set up just for those funds. And then you're going to have to provide the explanation about that account and the statements from that account. But this is very unique with Freddie Mac. With Fannie Mae, you can't use gifts from a wedding or a graduation. So this is really, really important. And this is also important if you're out there trying to get gift funds and you're applying for a Fannie Mae mortgage, and you say, hey, I'm getting married, can I use this money? And your loan officer says no. Hopefully now that you've seen these videos, you know that even though Fannie Mae doesn't allow it, Freddie Mac does. So hopefully that will help put you in a position where you can use somebody's gift funds to help you get into that home. Now, a gift funds workaround. If you have any questions about where the money came from, maybe the donor doesn't want to give copies of their bank statements, or they don't want to show deposit slips, or they just don't want to be bothered with filling out a gift letter, you can the workaround for getting around the gift is if you just get the money deposited into your bank account, and then it has to be in your bank account for 2 statements. If you have 2 bank statements and that money was already in there, not the deposit, but 2 bank statements that show the balance with that money already in there, it's considered sourced and seasoned, and it's not a gift anymore. It's considered your funds, and it's eligible to use for down payment and closing costs. There aren't going to be any questions about where that money came from. So what is a gift of equity? Now, a gift of equity is equity gifted to the borrower in the form of the down payment on a purchase. So it's usually a parent or a relative. The most common example of this is a child. You're the child and you're buying the house from your parents. So maybe it was a rental home that your parents owned. Maybe you live in the home. Maybe you're renting it now. Maybe you're not, but you decide to buy the home. Your parents can determine to take some of the equity in the home and gift that to you as down payment. So here's an example. Let's say they own a home that's worth $400,000 and they owe $200,000 on the home. Maybe what they do is, first of all, because they're your parents, they're going to sell it to you for $300,000. Okay. So now you have a $300,000 purchase price and you already know it's worth $400,000. So there's like a little gift of equity there, but then they're going to take $50,000 of that 300,000 or of that extra 100,000 that they have in equity. Because remember, they owe 200,000, they're selling it for 300. So there's $100,000 in equity. Maybe they take 50,000 of that and gift that to you as the down payment. So now you're only having to have a $250,000 loan on a $300,000 purchase price on a house that's worth $400,000. That's a gift of equity. Who's eligible to give a gift of equity? The donor of the gift is not considered an interested party if they meet the eligible donor requirements. So remember, if somebody is going to benefit from the sale of the property, you can't necessarily get a gift from them. They can't incentivize you if they're going to monetarily benefit. Gift of equity guidelines: primary home, secondary home only, purchase only. It's not considered an interested party contribution. So even though your parents are going to make money, or your relative is going to make money from the sale of the home because they're a relative, because they meet the eligible donor guidelines, that's not considered an interested party when we're talking about a gift of equity. There is a minimum borrower contribution for 2 to 4 units, or if you're buying a second home with less than a 20% down payment, then you have to have 5% of your own funds. You have to have a gift letter for gift of equity, and it's the same thing as Fannie Mae. The same thing for gift funds. You need the donor's name, address, telephone number, their relationship to you, the dollar amount of the gift, a statement that says there's no expectations of repayment, and then a settlement statement showing the gift. So you need documentation from the escrow company showing, hey, here's the equity. The equity can either be from the home that you're buying or a home that they just sold. So you need settlement statements showing where the money is coming from. And that's it. That is the guidelines for Freddie Mac. So if you have questions about using gift funds or gift of equity, findmywayhome.com is a website that's designed to help connect you with mortgage experts that care about answering your questions about qualifying for a mortgage. So you can visit findmywayhome.com. There's links in the description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're looking at this on findmywayhome.com and you have questions, you can ask questions in the comment section. I will answer every question that you have. There are also mortgage professionals in the directory on Find My Way Home. You can reach out to any one of them and ask your questions. They are there to simply answer your questions. You're not going to get a high pressure sales pitch. We're here to help educate, empower, and inform you. And If you do need help, they are professional, they are mortgage professionals that can help you take the next step. If you are a subscriber of our YouTube channel, every Wednesday, we're going to do live Q&As. Depending on when you're watching this, every Wednesday, we'll be online for an hour or two answering everybody's questions. You can feel free to join us there. And there are more links in the details of wherever you're watching this to get more information. So this is the video on Freddie Mac. If you are buying a home and you are interested in getting gift funds, this is Freddie Mac Conventional guidelines. We already did the video for Fannie Mae conventional guidelines. We're also doing separate videos for FHA, VA, and USDA. So if you think you're going to use one of those programs and you want to know what the rules are around getting a gift from somebody to help pay for down payment or closing costs, make sure you seek out those videos. We're doing those videos in a row, so they should all be bunched together in our playlists here. And so it should be pretty easy to find. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and congratulations on your decision to buy a home. If you are feeling lost or you need help, we are here to help you find your way home, and that is at findmywayhome.com. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.